All right, welcome to the North Peninsula Democratic Club's Candidates Forum. We're going to be interviewing and asking questions of two candidates for the San Mateo County Harbor District, the 4-year seat. And with us today are Sabrina Brennan and Shawn Mooney. The format will be, we'll have a 1-minute opening statement by each of you, and in anticipation, Sabrina, you'll be going first. Then each of you will have the opportunity to answer 3 questions which have been generated by the Executive Board of the North Peninsula Statement, North Peninsula Club.
Democratic Club.
Yeah. Each one of you will have a 45-second opportunity to rebut or expand on your remarks, and so we'll go through that process. Then there's an opportunity for 2 questions from the audience or from the moderator. Same thing, 1-minute answer, 45-second expansion or rebuttal. And then a 1-minute close, and the close will be Shawn because Sabrina gets the start. And so welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining us today. This is being filmed for access on your website should you so desire. And there's information that has been mailed to you about how you do that. And so with that, the first candidate for the 4-year seat on the Harbor District is Sabrina Brennan. Ms. Brennan?
Hi, thank you. Yes, I'm Sabrina Brennan, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here this afternoon, and want to thank the North Peninsula Democratic Club. So this is my first experience with your club, and I really appreciate the effort that you've put into getting information out about candidates to the public. So thank you for that service to the community. So I was first elected to the Harbor Commission in 2012, and so I'm almost at the end of my first term. But I'd like to back up a little bit and talk about some of my background. I founded a company which is called Digital Fusion Media in 1998, and have been working as the founder and president of that company for a little over 18 years. I moved to the coast side, to Moss Beach specifically, in 1999, and I served on the Mid-Coast Community Council Advisory Committee to the Board of Supervisors, at which point I then decided to run for Harbor District. So, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mooney?
Hi, my name is Shawn Mooney, and I'm running for the Harbor Commission. I live in San Mateo. And one of the reasons I'm running is San Mateo and Foster City and cities near 92 and 101, we're not represented on the Harbor Commission. And we are experiencing a lot of traffic, a building boom going on State Route 92. And I lived in Foster City my whole life, and in fact, my family was one of the original residents of Foster City. And I remember that Weirder Pier was the only thing, it was actually the San Mateo Bridge then. When they redid the bridge, it became Weirder Pier. And I represent the interest of State Route 92 to get a ferry terminal in Foster City at the foot of the San Mateo Hayward Bridge.
Okay. Sabrina, you have 45 seconds to expand on what you were saying earlier or to rebut what Shawn said.
Okay, so let's see, I left off with serving on the Mid-Coast Community Council, which is an advisory body to the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors. From there, I went on to seek office on the Harbor Commission, and that was a challenge. It's a countywide elected office, so I learned a lot about the district by attending meetings, putting in a lot of time and work researching the district, and was asked to run by a group of commercial fishermen who felt that they were not being adequately served at that time, and they asked me to throw my hat in the ring, and I did, and I won a seat on the board, received over 120,000 votes, the highest number of votes anyone's ever received for a seat on the Harbor Commission, and have been very honored to serve over the last almost 4 years now.
Okay. Shawn, you want to add to what you said earlier?
Yeah. Weirder Pier is in Foster City. It's a closed fishing pier. It was closed because there was no money to refurbish a fishing pier. But there is money available for transportation. And moreover, Weirder Pier, to get ferry service at Weirder Pier means more than just to alleviate traffic on 92. It's available in the event of a regional disaster to evacuate Foster City. It will be there to help Foster City recover from a disaster. We all recall when the San Mateo Hayward Bridge, the Bay Bridge collapsed in 1989, and for 10 years or more we had gridlock on 92. More recently, we had the BART strike, and again there was gridlock on traffic. A Bay Ferry terminal in Foster City will give options to recover from a disaster.
Okay. All right, Shawn, you're going to get the first question. These are identical to the questions that were posed earlier to the candidates for the two-year board. The first one is, there have been repeated calls to dissolve the San Mateo County Harbor District. What are your views on the dissolution of the district, and do you support its continuation? Why or why not? That's sort of the central issue about the Harbor District that's been going on for some time.
I support the continuation of the Harbor District. One of the things that I would like to see accomplished during my term, if elected, would be districting. Traditionally, all the harbor commissioners are typically represented or hasn't been represented, and I want to change that. I want to see the population of the county represented on the Harbor Commission where it's needed now.
Sabrina?
Do you want to repeat the question? I just want to make sure I...
Sure. There have been calls, LAFCO and others, for the dissolution of the Harbor District, and the question is, should it be dissolved, and if not, why not? If so, why so? And I'm assuming you're saying if not, of course. So why the continuation of the district, given the call by the grand jury and LAFCO, I think?
Thank you for that. So I would not be seeking re-election if it weren't for my support for the district. I do not support dissolution of the district. I think the district serves a very important function in our county, and so I am wholeheartedly behind the district. Since I've been, sorry, there's a fly here. Since I've been on
it's
the
over on my side, I sent it.
Oh, really? It's moving around, making the rounds. So while I've been serving, we have done some really incredible work over the last almost 4 years. I founded the Finance Committee, and in 2015, we started looking closely through the Finance Committee at what we could do to generate revenue and improve our financial position. With the help of Commissioner Tom Matoush, we took a look at our reserves, and in 2015 and 2016 looked at the possibility of paying off our debt. And in 2016, we made a recommendation to pay down the debt, which we have been carrying since 1976. And that's debt that was first taken on when the district was initially being built out. So that debt has been paid off, and we are debt-free today, and I'm very proud of that.
Shawn, 45 seconds to add to what you said earlier, or rebut?
Yeah, Weirder Pier is an abandoned fishing pier that extends all the way out to the deep channel of the high-rise section of the San Mateo Hayward Bridge. It actually goes out 4/5 of a mile. And the pilings on that pier are in good condition. The top of the decking and the rails to the pier are destroyed. But the pilings are in good shape, and we can never replace those pilings. And those existing pilings underneath Werder Pier right now are the same exact piers that are in service in Hayward on the other side of the bridge. They were put in there in 1929 when the bridge was originally built. And the pier is worth repairing. It's not worth repairing for fishing, but it is worth repair as a bay ferry terminal for transportation and emergency access.
Okay, Sabrina?
So is responding to that comment, is that?
Sure. And
Process,
you can
okay.
either that or extend on your remark, either one.
Okay, well, I think we've heard a lot about this pier today, so I think maybe I will say something about it. I guess it's sort of an opportunity to bring up, we have a pier in Pillar Point Harbor, which is in disrepair, and that pier, right now, the district is in the process of coming up with the engineering plans and allocating the funds to remove the pier, and that is a famous old pier called Romeo Pier. It's been featured in many beautiful photographs and drawings over the years and paintings. It's unfortunate that that pier has to be taken down, but it's a safety hazard. And if there were a large storm or if there was a tsunami, that material would wash into Princeton and cause damage to people's workplaces and homes, and it would definitely be a major problem. So I think the district has to be really careful about how we allocate funds and not take on projects that are going to deplete our financial situation, and we need to manage our money carefully.
Okay. Sabrina, this is a question to you. The top, and I think both of you have touched on what are your most important issues, but what do you consider the two most important issues facing the Harbor District today, and what do you propose to do to address them? Two top, and what to do about them.
Whose turn is it?
You are.
Oh, okay, thank you. I think one of the things that's facing the district that is the most concerning for me is sea level rise. We're a harbor and a marina, so we have a facility at Oyster Point, which has a ferry terminal, which actually the district does not own or manage. That ferry terminal is owned and managed by WETA, which is the Water Emergency Transportation Authority. We manage the marina. The land at Oyster Point is owned by the city of South San Francisco. And sea level rise is a big concern there. There's a chronic flooding problem there. There's a landfill subsidence problem there. So these are issues that need to get addressed. And fortunately, it looks like they will be addressed through a new biotech campus that's planned for that area. At Pillar Point Harbor, we also have concerns about sea level rise and about erosion, and those things are serious, and we need a plan for addressing them. So these are things that I plan to work on and when I serve my next term, hopefully.
Okay, Shawn, your two top priorities and how to address them.
Okay, my top priority is Bay Ferry service to the South Bay. And it's my belief, and what I'll be advocating for, is that, as we all know, there's plans to expand the Bay Ferry service to Redwood City. And that has been stalled for years now because of low ridership projections. It is my belief that by putting a Bay Ferry terminal in Foster City, it will increase the ridership and increase Redwood City's ability to get approval to bring ferry service to the South Bay. My second issue is, like I said earlier, is districting. I feel that representation of the Bayside is important because that's where the population is.
Rebuttal?
So I'd just like to mention a few projects that are near and dear to my heart and things that I think are important for the district. I just mentioned some of the issues that we're facing related to sea level rise and landfill subsidence. And this is also a water quality issue. So water quality is important. In order to protect the San Francisco Bay, the Oyster Point landfill needs to be recapped. And again, as I mentioned, that project that's planned for Oyster Point, it looks like is going to be the solution. So I'm very excited about that. Also, improving coastal trail and bay trail access is very important for our district and for the public. I support it. The Mavericks Trail erosion repair project I support, and sand replenishment at Surfers Beach and the Princeton shoreline. These are projects that are very important for visitors as well as the local community. I also support sidewalk and dock safety improvements that meet ADA requirements, and again, water quality monitoring. Thank you.
Okay. Shawn, anything else? 45 seconds if you want.
Sure. Weirder Pier, as I said, extends all the way to the deep channel of the high-rise section of the bridge. That means an expansion of the Bay Ferry service to Redwood City. The Bay Ferry boats are going to be going right past Weirder Pier, and we only going to be able to wade. We'll build it, it's going to be so close, it's going to be within 100 feet. It's going to be so close that you'll be able to talk to people on the boat from the pier as they go by. That is absolutely absurd. I stand that a Bay Ferry terminal is necessary. We are having traffic congestion and it's only going to get worse.
Okay, third question is what distinguishes you from not necessarily this one opponent, but all the opponents that are running for the Harbor District? And Shawn, what distinguishes you from your opponents?
What distinguishes me is that I'm the only candidate that's representing the 92-101 corridor. I am running on an issue. What distinguishes me is my passion to create ferry service, because I think it is absolutely a necessity as we move forward in the future to have a better quality of life. I used to commute to Oakland, and my day would have started the time I got on that ferry boat and started clocking in onto my computer. As it went, my day was 10 hours a day, because it took me an hour to get to work, do 8 hours, then come back. My quality of life would have been a lot better had there been a ferry terminal.
You must have gone to work right at the other end of the bridge if it only took you an hour. Some editorial comment. Sabrina?
Okay, so thanks for the question. One of the things that I think I've been known as an advocate for is recreation. And like I mentioned before, I'm a big supporter of the Bay Trail and the Coastal Trail. And I've also fought a good fight to bring volleyball to Pillar Point Harbor. And we just voted recently unanimously to support build out of 2 volleyball courts at Pillar Point Harbor at the request of the Half Moon Bay girls high school volleyball team. And so I'm very excited about bringing volleyball to Pillar Point Harbor. I'm also a big supporter of including women in the Mavericks surf contest. I've been advocating for that for over a year now, and it looks like we're making great progress. The Coastal Commission is supporting the inclusion of women in the Maverick Surf Contest, and this is something that I have worked really hard at. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we have an opportunity for questions from the audience. Anybody that would like to ask a question of our 2 candidates? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm Mary Lorenis. I live in Long Beach. And my question is, I believe Foster City, or part of Foster City is built on landfill. And given that sea level rise is real and is happening, if a ferry terminal is built there, it would cost, I don't know how many millions of dollars, but how would you deal with the fact that sea level rise is alive and well, unfortunately, and I think quite a bit of the Foster City is going to flood. So how could you put a ferry terminal there? Where would the parking be? How would you deal with sea level rise if it was built?
For me?
For both of you.
Yeah, I think you can get the start.
Okay. You're correct. All of Foster City is landfill, and all of it is subject to flooding, and the Water Emergency Management Authority, Transportation Authority, was created after the Katrina disaster for the purpose of making sure that a Katrina disaster doesn't happen here in the Bay Area. And a Bay Ferry terminal is is critical to saving lives in the event Foster City is completely inundated. Foster City's emergency plan shows disasters where none of the city streets will be available to first responders, leaving the only option is a Bay Ferry rescue.
Okay, Sabrina?
Thank you. I would definitely need to look at some maps to see what's available near this pier, and if there was a ferry terminal put in Foster City, which I imagine could be beneficial, I think that would be a question for the Water Emergency Transportation Authority, because that is the agency that does ferry terminals. The Harbor District is not in the ferry terminal business, and we don't have the revenue to do ferry terminals. It's just not something that we do. So if there was a way we could help with that process, that might be worth looking at. But I'd just like to point out that this has never come up at one of our meetings before, and that the candidate I'm with today has never come to one of our meetings and approached the district regarding this issue. So it's not something that we've given any thought to at this point. Thank you.
Okay. Rebuttal?
Yes, that's exactly why I want to get on the Harbor Commission, is that this issue has never come up. I want to be the one to bring the issue forward. And the reason why it's never come up is because the San Mateo 92-101 corridor, which abuts to Belmont, San Mateo, Burlingame, San Carlos, we're not represented. So why I haven't brought this issue up in the past is because it is very hard to be advocating for expanding the district at the same time that there's a lot of talk about dissolving it. So it's a tough battle to bring the issue forward.
Okay. Other questions? No, anybody else that has one? I'm going to take the priority of the authority of whatever I am. District elections. Leo Pedretti was a longtime resident of South San Francisco and was on the Harbor District forever. And he always said it was one of his roles was in a commission to promote the Bayside facilities that the Harbor District has. Which I think you've already said you were thinking about district elections. Tell me your views on having some way by which at least one of the 5 seats would be representative of the area on the Bay side. And maybe we'll start with Sabrina on that.
So thank you. So just a little background. When there was consideration of switching from at-large elections to district elections for the Board of Supervisors, I was a very outspoken advocate of switching to district elections. I attended every charter review committee meeting that was held. I think that was, I don't remember how long that took, 6 months or something of meetings.
It was like 60 years, but it may have been 6 months.
Okay, it was long. And I was very active in making public comment at those meetings and a very strong supporter of switching to district elections. And I'm glad that in the end the voters decided to do that. So I do support district elections. I have publicly supported switching to district elections for the Harbor District in the past, so I'm on the record with that in newspaper articles. I haven't switched my position. I think that one thing that should be pointed out is that we have tremendous diversity on our board. We are not lacking diversity. We have 2 Asian members of the board. We have a Latino member, we have a lesbian, that would be me, we have a gay man. We've got a lot of diversity, so we are doing a good job of representing the people of San Mateo County, and we can always seek to do an even better job. Thank you.
Shawn?
Yeah, I stand for a different kind of diversity. I stand for diversity that is regionally based on the population. That means the majority of the county Harbor Commission from the Bay. Because there is a lower population on the coast, there should be 2 seats from the coast side. So my view of districting has nothing to do with sexual orientation or Mexicans versus this or that. It has to do with population.
Okay. With that, I'm going to, we're going to move into our, I hold in my hand the final question. And that is to have each one of you have the opportunity to do a 1-minute closing. And since Sabrina, you gave the initial opening, Shawn, you get to do the initial closing statement.
Okay. I don't know how many of you commute on State Route 92, but it is gridlocked. It is, you have to be going where you're going before 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or else you're going to be stuck in gridlock. Gridlock means traffic backs up on 101 and is continuously 11 miles all the way across to the other side of the bridge. And right now, if you've been down 92 recently, there is an abundance. We're having a growth population, a building boom that is so we're already at gridlock, and the traffic from this new development hasn't even been brought into circulation yet. So I really, there's got to be something that gives, and I think it's a ferry terminal.
Okay, thank you. Sabrina?
Thank you. So I just wanted to mention sort of where I'm at with my campaign right now. So far, the endorsements have been coming in, and so I'm very honored to have received the Sierra Club endorsement, and I also received the Equality California endorsement. And if you're not familiar with that group, it's the nation's largest statewide lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender civil rights organization in the state. And also been endorsed by the Coastside Democrats, a progressive Democratic club serving the San Mateo County coast, the Peninsula Young Democrats, a club for Democrats age 35 and under, and the Half Moon Bay Seafood Marketing Association, a group of commercial fishermen working together to build their community and their industry, and the Coastside Fishing Club, which is the largest Bay Area recreational fishing club and has over 10,000 members. So these groups are supporting me, and if you want to learn more about my candidacy, you can find information about me on my website, and that's sabrinabrennan.com. You can also phone me, and my cell phone number is 415-816-6111. I'd be happy to talk to you. If you have any questions about the district, please do get in touch, because I love talking to the public, and I have a very open policy about communicating with the public. So please do look me up, and I appreciate the opportunity, so thank you.
You're welcome. And on behalf of the North Peninsula Democratic Club and our endorsement forum, thank you both for being here and for sharing your views with us today.